So a sort of a title here would be salary increase. Oh, let's yes, let's wrap the text on that one. And in cell D2, we want to put that value in there. Now I want D2 to be a percentage, so I'm going to just change the format here. If I right click that cell, I can format the cell, percentage. I don't want decimal places, just a whole number would be fine. Say OK on that. So now that should be, when I type in, now we were thinking of maybe 1%. Yes, I just typed the number 1 in, but it's put the percentage sign in there for me. Okay. Another trick I think would be useful is, that at the moment is cell D2, but let's rename that. I think that's going to be very useful. If I call that, well, what should it be? Salary increase. Notice because I can't put a space in there and put salary space increase, what I've done is I've decided to give the I of increase a capital letter so it stands out. When you see that, although there's no space there, it looks like salary increase. And I must remember to press the enter button to make sure that that name is fully in there. Okay, so now let's have a little look at that. So we've gone back to cell B9 and I want to change that formula. So I'm just going to go up to the top here and I'm going to change it by saying I want this to increase by the amount that we've chosen at the top, 1%. So I do that this way, multiplied by bracket 1 plus, and then this special number that we've typed in here, that's D2. Actually, it won't be D2, it'll be salary increase because we renamed it. And I close the bracket. Just have a think about that for the moment. That seems to be quite complicated. It was originally B8, the cell above, the salary last year. But now it's going to get a little bit bigger. So what's this 1 and the salary increase? Well, the salary increase would work out 1% of the original salary. That's the amount that it's going to increase by. But we want the final salary. So it's the original salary, 1, plus the extra that we're getting for our 1 year's experience. That's the 1%. So when I press enter, so now, well, we can look down here, it's now a grand total of £23,230. It's got a little bit bigger because you're a little bit more experienced. That makes sense to me. Now, if we'd had the salary increases maybe being 2%, so if I go back to here, D2, if I type in the number 2, when I press enter, that will become 2%, and I'm expecting the value in B9 to change, to respond to that. So watch, as soon as I press 1, 2, 3, the enter button, yes, it has responded because it's a new salary increase of 2%. So now the new salary is £23,460. And I want this to happen for my life of the 30 years of the loan because it makes sense. I'm getting more and more experienced. I'd expect my salaries to increase. So how do I do that? Well, for the second year, at the moment in here, we've got in cell B9, we've got the formula, the B8, the cell above, multiplied by this strange thing. If I grab hold of that handle and just drag down once, now that's changed B10, because that's now become B9, the cell above it, plus 1 plus the salary increase. That's brilliant. So all I need to do to get this built in for all 30 years is to grab hold of that handle in B9 and drag it all the way down to the 30th year. I'm going to go all the way down to here, the 30th year, and let go of my left-hand button. Great, £40,844. Is that a reasonable amount? actually, I think it is. You look at most professions now, whatever the starting salary is, 30 years later, you'd be expecting to get a much bigger salary. And I'm guessing that for most professions, that would be at least twice as much as somebody who's beginning at that particular profession. So in fact, although we had a value of 44,000, I actually think it ought to be a little bit more. We've got 40,000 there. I think that ought to be, what's twice 23,000? About £46,000. I don't think we've given this person enough of an increase, to be honest. Let's see if we can experiment here. What about, well, would 3%, what would 3% do? I put 3% in there and press enter. Now what's the final salary after 30 years of experience? 54,000. All right, maybe that would be a bit generous. Let's just compromise here. How about if we have a salary increase of 2.5%? So what's that? I realize why. I can see now why it's only 3% here. It's 2.5 at the top there, but we need to change the format. Let's just do that, shall we? Format cells, and we'll have one decimal place showing here. Okay, that should have been better. There we are, 2.5%. So what's the effect been on that? And that gives £47,000. Okay, we'll go for that. I think that's about right. So of course, because the salary is increasing, the amount of money being paid back is increasing. In fact, it's increasing a lot. And you can see now that the total repayment has increased considerably because it takes into account that your salaries will be going up, and that makes a lot more sense. So I think it's time soon to start building in how much the loan was and doing a calculation. But I think your best bet now is to go back to the spreadsheet you calculated and fill in these various formulas here, and then you can see how to progress in the next video. Thank you for listening.